You bet. Daniel Kuney, Max J. Kuney Company, all the way back in 2018 and still currently employed. So it was me and then John Madden with Oldcastle, and then Hollis Barnett, who's our current president, was our second vice president. Good group. "2018 was a year where we knew there was a lot of work coming in the industry, and a lot of people at retirement age. So it was a continued push on workforce development that had really started several years earlier. Vince Campanella was a big champion for it. I don't know what year he was president, but I'm going to guess that was 4 or 5 years prior to me. And then 2018, we really tried to continue those efforts and try to get more people interested in the trades and make people aware of their options between 4-year college, 2-year college, no college. Partnered up with New Tech Skill Center in town, things like that. And then politics, of course. There's always plenty of politics to worry about, no matter what year it is or who's president. But we were pushing for funding and, North Spokane Corridor, all that good stuff. Workforce development-wise, we struck up that partnership with New Tech, and we created a construction intern program so that high school kids that were interested in the trades could come and intern with Max J. Kuney Company or Winkler or one of our AGC members. And that took some work, because you're talking about somebody who's not 18 yet, and how are you going to get them involved in construction so they can see what the career is all about, working within Washington state law and whatnot. But we got 5 really good interns that first year, and then the program kind of grew after that. With COVID, I have to admit I have no idea what we're doing with that this year. But we got it rolling in 2018, and it was New Tech was really excited. That skill center is a good partner for AGC, and we got some good kids interested in the industry, I think. I would say going to the New Tech Skills Center, they kind of invited us to some things, graduation for their students that had made it through the construction program. That was very memorable. I did a tour of the AGC pre-apprenticeship training programs with Mike, and got to see some of what our apprentices had built, and that was something I've encouraged every other president to do, is like go to where we are, training people how to get involved in this industry. I got to see this really neat shed that his all-women group had built. That was very memorable, and then of course the trip to Washington, D.C. was memorable. I had been there during the Obama administration, and in 2018 was the middle of the Trump era, and the changes and just the craziness that goes on in DC was pretty great. Pretty darn good on the building side. Public Works was kind of waiting on some things to come through. You know how it can be in Public Works. You vote on it and it just takes a long time to get going. But all in all, pretty good. Trump had made his name as the great deregulator, as they called him, and had pushed through a lot of pro-business initiatives. And I think around town there was quite a bit going on. Low interest rates. It was a pretty good year. The staff is awesome. What was going on in my years in the chairs was some reorganization, adding a position in the Tri-Cities to service those members, bringing on Luke to really focus on our members and membership retention, and then a safety director, and then getting rid of the plans room. And 2018 was a year where a lot of that was really hitting its stride, you know. Cheryl did a really good job with that reorganization, and I think it's worked out really well. But we just have great continuity. We're lucky. Just you get to come in as president, and it's the same team that was there when you were in the chairs, and it makes all the difference in the world. So we got it pretty good. Well, as you know, the family has been in it since 1930, so I was aware that we had a family construction business my whole life, but I gotta say I wasn't really planning on it until I got a little older. After college, I worked in Seattle for a while, more of a finance type roles, and then went to graduate school and had some conversations with my dad and my brother, and decided after graduate school to come into the business, and that was 2005. Been a great decision. Even a nerdy spreadsheet guy can find a home in a construction company. So during my time since 2005, I would say the Snoqualmie Pass widening. We were up there for 4 seasons, blasting away at the hillside and taking Snoqualmie Pass through that dangerous section next to the lake from 4 to 6 lanes. And the funny thing is that I think WSDOT has a sign up there for everyone involved in the widening, and of course they've done it in phases. We haven't been up there since 2014, and I get asked at least every other month, how's it going? Are you guys almost done at Snoqualmie Pass? We haven't been up there for 6 years. But yeah, so that was a memorable one. And then we got into hydro projects during my time. We did some cool ones. We got to do the emergency work at Wanapum Dam when they found a crack in it, and they lowered the forebay of the Columbia River, and so that was kind of an exciting emergency job. But yeah, we've been fortunate to do all kinds of interesting jobs. Oh gosh, it's got to be, you know, the usage of technology. Clearly, and since 2005, I mean, I got outfitted with a phenomenal BlackBerry back then that, you know, I still kind of miss in some ways. Or I think it was a Nextel at first. Yeah, we were still in the Nextel phase in 2005. We were holding on tight to the 2-way Nextel, and then BlackBerry, and I mean, now we just all live with our smartphone, and right. The technology for sure, you know, and probably safety and environmental. I mean, just awareness and what we're doing on our projects in that regard would probably be the biggest ones that stand out. We are huge supporters of the AGC for, gosh, you know, I'd like to think the whole list of reasons. You know, the advocacy, clearly. Max has been chair of government affairs now for a while, so he's super involved there. Retro, you know, program's been great. Education, you know, and then just the network. This is the team. You got to be on the team, right? Yeah. So we belong to the AGC of Washington and Inland Northwest. You guys probably do too. We've even belonged to AGC of Oregon a time for we haven't worked down there in a while, so we just let that one go. But yeah, we're big supporters. We are the AGC.